In the realm of international relations, hypothetical scenarios often spark intriguing debates. One such scenario is the question of what would happen if a war were to break out between India and Canada. While war between two nations is never a desirable prospect, it is worth examining why Canada might have the upper hand in such a conflict, especially when considering the role of NATO and the strong alliance between Canada and the United States. Furthermore, the limitations of the Indian Navy, particularly concerning its submarine fleet, play a crucial role in this hypothetical scenario. Canada's affiliation with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, significantly strengthens its position in any potential conflict. NATO is a political and military alliance comprising 30 member states, including Canada, that was established with the primary goal of collective defense. Any attack on a NATO member, such as Canada, would trigger Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, which considers an attack on one member as an attack on all. In such a scenario, NATO member nations would come to the aid of Canada, creating a formidable force. Canada's close alliance with the United States further tips the scales in its favor. The United States and Canada share the longest international border globally, making them natural allies. Their close relationship extends beyond geography and is deeply rooted in shared values, interests, and defense commitments. The defense partnership between these two North American nations is exemplified by NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command, and other collaborative security agreements. In the event of a conflict, Canada can count on full support from its southern neighbor, the world's most powerful military. One crucial factor that plays a pivotal role in this hypothetical scenario is the Indian Navy's limitations, particularly in the context of submarine warfare. The Indian Navy has a fleet of submarines, but none of them possess the endurance or capabilities to reach Canada's shores. The Indian Navy primarily operates two classes of submarines, the Russian-made Kilo class and the domestically built Scorpion class. These submarines are designed for regional defense and are not equipped for long-range transoceanic deployments. Canada's geography works in its favor in this hypothetical scenario. Its vast coastline along the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans would make it a challenging target for an Indian Navy that lacks the necessary submarines capable of reaching Canadian waters. Furthermore, the Arctic region, which Canada shares with NATO partner nations like the United States and Denmark, adds an extra layer of strategic depth and protection. Any aggression by India against Canada would almost certainly invite punitive strikes from the United States, Canada's closest and most powerful ally. The US-Canada defense partnership is not merely symbolic, it is backed by concrete military capabilities and a commitment to mutual defense. The United States possesses a vast array of military assets, including naval, air, and ground forces, that can be rapidly deployed to defend Canada. A conflict with Canada would inevitably trigger a response from the United States that India would find extremely challenging to counter. In the midst of discussing this hypothetical scenario, it is important to acknowledge the absurd statement made by Professor Kapil Kumar on a televised show, suggesting an attack on Canada. It must be emphasized that such a notion is not only insane but entirely undoable. The global community today stands firmly against the use of force to settle disputes between nations, and any such aggression would be met with widespread condemnation and international consequences. In considering the hypothetical scenario of a conflict between India and Canada, it is worth noting the prevalent mentality in some quarters of underestimating Canada's defense capabilities. This perception may draw parallels with the attitude towards countries like Pakistan, where there is a perception that the government does not take concrete actions to protect its citizens from foreign interference. However, this perception overlooks the robust defense capabilities and alliances that Canada has cultivated over the years. Canada has a well-equipped and professional military force capable of defending its interests and borders. Additionally, its membership in NATO and the strong partnership with the United States ensure that any act of aggression towards Canada would have severe consequences. While it is essential to stress that the world should strive for peace and conflict resolution through diplomacy and international cooperation, understanding the dynamics of hypothetical scenarios can shed light on the intricate web of alliances, geopolitics, and military capabilities. In the event of a war between India and Canada, the odds would strongly favor Canada due to its membership in NATO, its close alliance with the United States, and the limitations of the Indian Navy.